Hi, this is Bishop Craig in Northern Michigan, and this is Take One for the week of May 8th. Peace be with you. We are gearing up for Synod Assembly this week. There are technology sessions, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, technology rehearsal on site Friday for many hours, and Saturday is the assembly. We could use your prayers, as we always can before Synod Assembly. You can do a few other things. One, please check the Synod Assembly webpage on our website to make sure that you have the most current materials. We had a confusion at the budget conversation last week where a link and documents didn't match. So go directly to the Synod Assembly webpage. Please make sure you have the most current materials. If you're going to bring a nomination from the floor, you don't need to surprise. If you can get that name and information, the Bible form to us in advance, we will hold it and not share it, I promise, but it makes it easier for us to screen share it and make it available if we have it in advance. The same way, if you already know that I'm bringing this amendment on a resolution or a memorial to the assembly, if you get it to communications@mittensynod.org and just say, I may bring this, I may not bring this, but I want you to have it so that we're more ready to go with it, that would be helpful. So those are some ways that voting members, we're not trying to control the assembly, I promise, but those are some ways that you can help us to do what we as a staff need to do and help the synod do its business in assembly. And on the day of the assembly, please make sure to log in on time, and please be ready to vote, and please be patient if the internet decides that this would be a good day to act up. So that's our week with Synod Assembly. In addition, we have several other meetings, mostly via Zoom, because the synod does not stop, congregations don't stop just because we're getting ready for assembly. So we have a full week, the staff and I do. Next Sunday, the readings from John's Gospel take us back to the farewell discourse, the night Jesus is handed over, and the night before he dies. And Jesus says a couple of things. He says that I find noteworthy. First of all, Jesus says, little children, you will look for me, and you will not find me. What I have said to others, now I say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. And there Jesus is talking directly about the cross. So Jesus does for us what we cannot do for ourselves. In going to the cross, Jesus is lifted up. Jesus is glorified. Jesus proclaims God's love for the world. Jesus embodies God's love for the world from before time. And Jesus makes it possible for us to enter into the abundant life of God. So Jesus does for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Jesus does this for us and the world. Where Jesus goes, we cannot come. The good news is Jesus has promised after the resurrection to come back and get us, and Jesus will. In the meantime, Jesus says that we are to love one another. This is his command, and he says that by this all people will know that we are his disciples if we have love for one another. I rarely try to question or challenge Jesus, but on this one I wonder. I think today, when we love one another, people know that we are loving people. If we're going to love one another, we need to love one another as Jesus loves us, which means showing solidarity, forgiving, seeking reconciliation, and sacrificing for each other. And we don't always do that too well. So we love each other, but not with the kind of love that Jesus has for us. So we need to maybe step up our loving. More importantly, I think in today's world, that if we just love one another with politeness, people will know we're loving people. And so we need to name Jesus. We need to speak of Jesus. We need to help people explicitly connect our love with Jesus. And so I am convinced that preaching, sermons need to be about Jesus, and nothing can replace or displace Jesus in sermons. I say that because I wrote a new book on that, which is about making Jesus the hallmark of our preaching. So nothing should replace Jesus in the sermon. Now we can figure out how preaching Jesus addresses many things, but we need to learn to do that. So that's why I wrote one book. I'm also working on another book that says that is called "You Are Witnesses of These Things," sharing the story of Jesus, and this is designed for groups within congregations to help us as Christians, specifically as Lutheran Christians, become skilled and comfortable talking of Jesus and expecting nothing in return, nothing more than that people will receive the story of Jesus. So they'll know who Lutherans say Jesus is. So the good news this week is that Jesus does for us what we can't do for ourselves. And Jesus comes back to get us in the same way he came back to get the disciples in that locked room. And that if they're going to know we are Christians by our love, then we need to step up our loving game. But probably equally important, we need to name Jesus as the reason and the motivation for our love. Those are some wonderful things to think about as we head into Synod Assembly. I'm quite serious when I ask you to remember the staff in prayer this week, and our assembly, and all of the people that are pulling it off. It's just amazing to me every year, and especially these virtual assemblies, how many people step up to pull the assembly off. Please pray for all of us. Prepare to be a voting member, and may the peace of Christ be with you always. Take care.